Okay, hello everybody, this is Big Bang Crypto. My name is Sam and welcome to another episode. Now before we start to talk about the chart, I want to let you know that yesterday Zach and I had an interview with the Bitcoin magazine. They're really big in the Netherlands. And we talked about everything that happened in the last days and weeks and about the four-wave theory and the recurring similarities. And yeah, it was really cool and they liked it. And so in the future, we will be making weekly TA that will be published on their website. So this is really cool for us and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, the next step for our community. And I also want to let you know that we started a donation fund um, and we use this money to make live trading so you can see what we're doing and the progress, and we will be using this money to, well, pay our costs because we are investing and to grow this community, this channel, and to keep it going because it's not that easy. I'm working full-time, family, everything, and then, well, doing all these things. It's not that easy for Zach and for me as well. So yeah, this is going on, and you can find the wallet address in the description. So I hope you will help us. This will be really cool. So let's get into the chart. All right, so we had a crazy move. This big move right here. I told you that we will see a big bounce from my crazy support line down there, this blue one. And yes, it happened. But I must say that it was much stronger than I thought. All right. So here you can see what I already showed you many times, and I said that we will be going down to approximately 9.2k, then up again to 10k, and then down to 9.3k and up to 10.2k. So this was the move I expected next, and yeah, it happened, but we moved all the way up to nearly $10,800. Now, why did that happen? Why didn't it stop with this candle? Why did we see this big one again? And I think you all heard it. We have this VanEck ETF coming, but it's not a real ETF, the one that everybody expected, because what they've been doing is bypassing the SEC, and they will be offering this only to institutional investors, so like banks and brokers and hedge funds and things like that. So not for the retail investors. Yeah, so I mean, it's a good step for Bitcoin forward. It's a really important step, like Backed, which is coming. So these are all very important steps for the future and for the growth of Bitcoin. But at the moment, this news caused this, this second pump. So I knew we will see a bounce, a big bounce, like I always said. But we had something like a double bounce because of this news. So I want to use this to give you a clear warning, because some of you trade on leverage, and this is very risky, and you have to be aware of these things. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, so we don't have this big news every day. But at some point, a big news will come, and this will have an effect on the price, like we're seeing right here. And if you don't trade like a pro, then you're taking a high risk. It's a real high risk, because when you make something like so leverage 10x or 20x or whatever, so you can lose a lot of money. All right, and I know some of you lost money because this was just too much. This was just too much, and even I was like, "What's going on? Why is it that strong?" But when I saw the news, I knew why. So we had this big effect on the price, and this is something that you have to be aware of. And so I think this live trading that we will be doing with this donation fund is something that can help you to have a real good risk management, and use really good stop losses and things like that. So this is very important. Um, you, you have to know that from thousands of traders, maybe 1 or 2% really succeed with this high risks. All right, and it's not always because they're the best traders out there. No, it's just most of the time where they're lucky. All right, but all the others lose their money. All right, I mean, it plays out 10 times, and then you think, all right, man, this time it will happen again, so I will succeed. And then it comes and you lose everything. So please don't do that. Don't take too much risk. You will have 2 years of a bull market. 2 years. So many opportunities to make money. So don't always try to get every cent out there that is possible. Don't do that. Take your time, invest with a good strategy, with a risk management, and at the end you will succeed. So this is, in my opinion, a really good trader, someone who makes it like this, and not someone who always goes all in. This is a big fault, and at some point you will fall. And just imagine that it works out every time, and then we have our fourth wave, which I think will be around $300,000, $400,000. And when you make a wrong decision, you lose this unbelievable life-changing opportunity that normal people normally don't ever see or have. All right, we have this chance, so we have to make the best out of it, and this will only work with a good strategy. And like I said, join our Discord channel, and there you will get every important information, because as you can see, in the last days and weeks, everything that I predicted nearly played out 100%, except of this one. But like I said, we had this big news yesterday. This is something that I can't know when it comes out. So I told you there is a bounce, but well, like I said, then we had this news and this bounce was much bigger. And yeah, so and that is why you need really good risk management. All right, so let's take a look at the chart and what is likely in the next days and hours, because this is very important. Now, a lot of people are talking about a descending triangle. So in fact, what you can see, I say this is a falling wedge, and they say they see a descending triangle, and when Bitcoin breaks it, we will have a big drop. So still there is a very high bearish sentiment. And I told you that in the last 10 years we always have this falling wedge formations, and that Bitcoin always breaks out upwards and moves to the next wave. The next wave will be at the end of this year. I think this makes a lot of sense considering the historical price movements. And now what is important? So I'm always using the I'm always using the daily exponential ribbons. So it's just this one. So when you go, so this is on German, but when you, I think it's templates in English. So when you take it and then you have this exponential ribbon and just use it, you have these ribbons. And what I do is when we are above it, this is a really big support level. So as you can see, when Bitcoin moved all the way up, and and jumped over this exponential ribbon. So you have a lot of EMAs. Every line is a EMA, and when Bitcoin is above it, then it gets supported. So like you can see at this point, it moved all the way up, and now it is on its way down to test this daily exponential ribbon. All right, so it is a very important support level and resistance level as well when we are below it. All right, so when Bitcoin falls below it, then there is a high probability that a move downwards is likely. As well, you can use it as well in, on the 4-hourly chart. So this is also a very strong exponential ribbon. So it looks like Bitcoin is coming down, and as you can see, when Bitcoin falls below it, like here for example, then we have a very bearish movement. So as you can see, and when we are above it, we have a very bullish movement, right? So this is how I use it, and it's very helpful for me, and I also use it for my recurring similarities over the last 10 years. Yeah, so, and now what you can see, I mean, we have this correction at the moment, and when we go to the daily chart, oh no, not to the daily, to the one hourly chart. So what you can see at the moment, so let me take this away. Yeah, what you can see is Bitcoin, after moving all the way up to nearly $10,800 on the Bitstamp chart, is now falling inside of a falling channel. All right. And so this means at the moment we have a bearish trend, but now here's the thing with these falling channels. At some point you have a breakout. And this there's a higher probability that this breakout is to the upside. But now, how do we know what will happen in the next hours? So at the moment, Bitcoin is on its way down, and when it's below this 1 hourly exponential ribbon, then this is also a big resistance level. So it is possible that Bitcoin, when it is below this ribbon, this last line, so this is the 55 EMA, that it breaks out downwards out of this falling channel, and yeah, test the daily exponential ribbon. So as you can see on the 1 hourly chart, we have it at $10,340, and when we go to the daily chart, we have the last one at 10,227. So what is important for me? For me, it's important to see when Bitcoin falls below this daily exponential ribbon, then I think it is very likely to go down and test this green line again, this very strong support line. And this will be, so when it happens tomorrow, I don't think that this will happen today, but tomorrow, when it happens tomorrow, this will be around $9,560. So this is the next entry point in my opinion. So I will be buying at $9,600. So I'm not going to take the high risk because maybe we don't go all the way down. So I will have many buy orders, but the lowest one at $9,600. And yeah, this is my favorite scenario. All right, because we have this falling wedge formation, as you can see, this yellow lines. We have a falling wedge formation, like I always said, and give me a moment. I see this line is not 100% correct, so it have to be like this. And so we have this falling wedge formation, and I think when Bitcoin breaks out upwards tomorrow, all right, over this resistance level, this is, in my opinion, too early. All right, so tomorrow or the day after, moving above this one, this is too early on a way down. inside of this falling wedge. So this move right here makes more sense to me. So breaking out of this falling wedge at this point makes much more sense to me than breaking out at this point. All right. Now you can say no, this is nonsense, but like I said, because of my experience, I think this makes much more sense. But okay. And something else that makes sense is when we go down to this blue line again and find support, this means we're not going all the way down to this line, this support line of the falling wedge. So we have a partial downtrend or downwards movement. This means that we're not going all the way down, so we stop at that point and then we go back, and this is the sign for me. All right, we're not going all the way down, we're turning around, and this is the sign for me. All right, now this is the time to break this resistance line of the falling wedge. All right. Okay, so now just to be once again clear on it. So if Bitcoin finds support on this daily exponential ribbon, this is at $10,336. If we don't fall below it, and we don't fall below $10,200, so below this daily exponential ribbon, if we don't fall below it, this means that we have support, and then it is very likely to see Bitcoin moving up again in the so let's say in the next 48 hours, moving up again to test this resistance line and to break it. Because from a historical price movement point of view, this would be very likely if we find support. But I think the more likely scenario is to go down again, because this is something that shouldn't happen. It only happened because of the news. And I expect Bitcoin to come down again. And now let me show you something else. Another reason for that. If we take out the Fibonacci retracement tool and go from the lowest point to the highest point yesterday, oh, excuse me. So sorry. And yeah, so when you from the lowest point to the highest point, what you can see is the 61% Fibonacci level is at $9,880, and the 78% level is at $9,640. All right, and look, the 78% level has contact with my support line, as you can see at that point. All right, so it makes a lot of sense to me to see Bitcoin after this big move, after making from that point to that point, after making 16%, it makes a lot of sense to me to see it coming down to this 78% level and test this support line, this blue line again, and then move up, because this will be a partial downwards move, and then it goes up and breaks it, and this is my sign. So when I see Bitcoin today finding support on the daily exponential ribbon, I will buy in, because this is the sign for me. All right, we're not going down anymore, we will be moving up. And but I'm not going to buy at the first point I see this. So I will be waiting for confirmation, because it is possible that we will see support for some hours and then it goes all the way down. So this is what I will be doing. And oh man, now everybody is calling. What's going on? And yeah, so this is what I will be doing, guys. Okay, so I hope my strategy is clear. So I will be waiting for confirmation, and when I see, all right, we have our support, then I buy in at this point, because then it is very likely to break this resistance line, or what I said. What is more likely for me is to come down to this blue line, because this was too short. All right, so let me tell you like this also, this was just too short, only 2 tests and then all the way up. So this is not likely for Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin always came down and tested this blue line more than 2 times. All right, yeah. Now to the altcoins, I want to tell you something important, because Bitcoin will break out of this falling wedge upwards and move to the next wave. I told you when this happened and the bull market is official, I think some of the altcoins will pump. It's very likely, and they are really low at the moment. And I want to show you the Bitcoin dominance, because something important is happening. All right. So what you can see at the moment, it is over 70%. All right. And it was up to over 90%. When we take out the Fibonacci retracement tool from this point to the lowest point it has been, what you can see is that the dominance is at the 61% Fibonacci level. Now, you know, this is a very important level, so it is possible that Bitcoin moves up a little bit to the 65% level. So let's say this will be around, let's say around 75%. This makes sense because, like I said, I think Bitcoin will break out. And then after that, Bitcoin will come down. So I expect another big drop after that move. Bitcoin will come down. And this will be the time when the altcoins start to rise again. So Bitcoin will come down to maybe 60% or even lower than that, so 55 or something like that. This is possible, and as you can see, this makes sense. So I think the time of the altcoins will come. And when we take a look, for example, at Cardano, so what you can see is that Cardano is falling inside of a falling wedge. So this is a bullish formation. So this means at some point I expect a bullish movement, a breakout upwards. And yeah, and this also makes sense to what I told you, that I think that some altcoins will rise. For example, Stratus or One Chain. So when we take a look at One Chain, so One Chain had a real nice pump, 3x something like that, and is now showing us this continuation pennant. So it makes sense to me to see One Chain move up again, or Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic. So what you can see is it is falling inside of a it is moving inside of a falling wedge, so it is likely to see it break out upwards. This makes a lot of sense to me. So we have a lot of bullish formations, and this makes totally sense to me because, like I said, I don't think that Bitcoin will fall below 9K. It is more likely to see Bitcoin move above 10K and to move to the next wave and bull market and all these things. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Basic attention token falling inside of a falling wedge. So like I said, you find it everywhere. So NEM falling inside of a falling wedge. And what do we have? Icon. Oh, to take away all these 1,000 lines. Yeah, and I mean, this one had a real nice pump and is now, from what I see, also maybe falling inside of a falling wedge. Yeah, it's also a falling wedge to me. So yeah, makes sense to me to see them all in these bullish formations. and to see a breakout in the next days upwards. All right, but before that happens, I think that Bitcoin will move upwards. This is more likely to me, but because I know a lot of you want to know when to buy the altcoins. So when Bitcoin falls down to this point, the altcoins will be low, very low, and I expect something like an altcoin pump. It's not that altcoin pump that we've seen in the last bull market, because we have an altcoin inflation. They can't all make 5x, 10x, and things like that, but some of them will. Some of them will. I'm sure of that. And for example, Matic will make this move. I mean, look at that, how strong it came back after this drop. And if we take a look at where it is, Litecoin, also inside of a falling wedge, makes totally sense to me, and I expect Litecoin to make crazy gains, because at the moment at $66, this is very, very low, considering the halving, considering the FOMO on Litecoin and Ethereum. Falling wedge again. So they're all showing us this bullish formations. Makes totally sense to me. Like I said, the altcoins will pump. I will buy down there at the blue line. When I see this drop, I will buy. When I see Bitcoin breaking this trend trend line, so this resistance line. So when it happens in the next 2 days, this will be around $10,800. When Bitcoin really moves above this line, this means that we won't see this move, and then I will also buy some altcoins, because people will be buying in. Yeah, so that's my strategy. Oh man, nearly 30 minutes. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for 200 subscribers. It's amazing, and I hope it is helpful. I hope you like the content. Please leave a like, subscribe, and write in the comments what you think about it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.